the opportunity to talk of financial literacy extended on national grid. There 17 times at the end of our national security program. And I will tell you how.
The organization has. So we're talking about how the board behaves, or in some cases, how they misbehave, because that also happens.
Very rare your running that I know.
I tell you, you have secured the name and content. Hello there. Indeed, my pleasure to welcome you to another exciting Education for Knowledge series of our ICAN on Air. Today, we bring to you the topic, Personal Finance for Professionals. Personal Finance for Professionals. Is it big? Not exactly. From practical experiences of the better than most of us, creating a financially secure life can feel like a daunting task that requires the skills of experts, map makers, and GPS programmers. Yeah, you heard that right. You need to begin to figure out where you are today and where you want to get to. And as if that is not a big enough lift, you are then in charge of finding the best route to get from here to there without veering off into costly detours. I charge you to take a deep breath. You relax your shoulders. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria is here today with a seasoned professional, SOLA ADESAKIN, ACA, ACCA, and CPA to navigate us to a safe destination in our question and answer segment. And by way of brief intro of our special guests, SOLA ADESAKIN is a celebrated author of 8 published books, and of course, several unpublished articles, and has helped many people, young and old, as well as businesses in over 25 countries, to bounce back from financial stress to rest, from debt to wealth, to living amazing lives. She was recognized as one of Nigeria's 100 most inspiring women in year 2020. SOLA ADESAKIN has won many awards in recognition of her job in the finance and business industry. We will take her on very shortly. Also, on this segment of the program will be a few of our ICAN diary of events, a few important announcements, a few adverts. Oh, come on with us as we are going to be navigating and taking you into higher altitudes. Stay on, you stay connected. We will be back with you very shortly. Yes. Please join me to welcome SOLA Adesakin onto ICAN on Air. SOLA Adesakin, you are most welcome.
Thank you for having me. I am delighted to be here. Good evening.
Oh, we are delighted to go on this voyage. It's going to be a smooth sail, but we go straight into the heart of the matter in this navigation. Liking you to frame it for us so that we have very good understanding of the subject matter of personal finance for professionals. I ask you, what is personal finance? And why is it so important to human beings?
Thank you so much. I would crave your indulgence to share a bit of my personal story to really explain what personal finance is. Um, I greet everybody watching this, prestigious fellow chartered accountants, and to everybody watching this. I qualified exactly 20 years ago. And for a better part of my career, I got a good job, my early career. I got a good job. Things were going so well. But I was always indebted with my finances. I was always looking for my money. I didn't understand where my money was going. I knew the money was coming in. I knew I was earning a good salary. But at the end of each month, I couldn't account for it. Interestingly, I was the head of finance in the earlier days of my career, and I had so many people working under me. But 1 week after salary was paid, I will go back to writing an IOU. I believe we all know what an IOU means, literally. And then, no shame, nothing. I just couldn't get my financial acts together. And retrospectively, I realized that we go to school, they teach us how to become accountants, right? With the technical and professional skills. They teach us how to become lawyers, doctors, and all of that. But hardly do they teach us the concept of money, making it, managing it, and multiplying it. And that's what personal finance is all about. These days, you see a lot of broke chartered accountants. You see a lot of broke personal finance coaches, actually. You see a lot of broke PhD holders. You see a lot of broke MBA holders because you know what? What they have taught us in school are the tips and tricks for jump-starting our career. But when the money comes in, nobody is teaching us. Nobody taught us how to manage it and how to multiply it. Because it is not enough to earn a salary. It is not enough to make money. If you make money, you don't understand how to manage it or multiply it, you'll be broke. So, what personal finance teaches, right, are the skills, the knowledge, and the mindset for making, managing, and multiplying our money. So I needed to just say that short story about myself to drive home the point. Personal finance educates our mind. Like you will be able to differentiate between an illiterate and a literate person by the way they speak. Now, personal finance is what educates our financial mind. So that's why you see graduates who understand what they have learned in school about their profession, but have not mastered personal finance. Because personal finance is a school on its own, teaching us how to take good care of our money. I hope I did justice to that question.
You not only has done justice to that question with your personal experience of meeting, managing, multiplying whatever it is that is in your hands becomes wealth and therefore is personal finance and is so important. I find that
And
very
don't,
awesome.
if you would allow me interrupt, that is the original MMM. We will get to investments during the course of the program. But see,
Awesome.
if you remember the three M's of money, you will never get it wrong again.
You can say that again. But Shola, many believe that being financially independent depends on the size of income you earn. Okay, the profit you make from your business, the dividends you earn, interest you earn from also investments and profits. Now, how true is this? And if true, where is the place of financial planning in all of this?
Thank you so much for that question. I like the fact that I already touched on the three M's of money, which is making, managing, and multiplying money. Now, the truth is that the skills for these three M's differ. If you would like me to go a bit playful on you tonight, yesterday I was reading a piece of news. I'm sure a lot of people in ICAN, I mean, the older people would remember Rashidi Yakini. I mean, I was very interested in football many years ago. And, remember the team that went to, was it some Tunisia 1994? And then we went to Atlanta 1996. I used to follow all of them. So I came across a piece of news yesterday that said it was exactly a decade ago that Rashidi Yakini passed on. But I remember that when Rashidi Yakini passed on 10 years ago, the story I read about him was that he died broke, he died depressed, he died unhappy. He felt that a lot of people deserted him. I mean, this was Rashidi Yakini that scored the very first goal for us at the World Cup, the very first World Cup night that Nigeria went. This was somebody that had played, I think it was for Victoria Settlewell. This was somebody that was the wave of the moment back then. What happened with the money he made? A lot of people understand and they have the skills. Every one of us, most times, see, making money is about bringing value to the table. When you bring value to the table, money will show up. We cannot bring value to the table. I can decide that, oh, I want to teach a course today, or I want to monetize my ICAN certificate. I want to start to teach young accountants. I want to start to manufacture. I want to start to do whatever. We all can come up with means of making money. But more importantly, if you know how to make money, and you do not know how to manage money, you will lose your money. Why did I give that example of Rashidi Akini? One of his contemporaries, Okocha, JJ Okocha, is somebody that we still see, that we still hear about. Is it because he's good? He speaks well? Is it because he's more handsome? No. He has been able to channel his resources in the right direction. And this world, even the Holy Book says it, that a rich man has many friends, but a poor man is deserted. So people know how to make money. You can earn a salary like me. 15, 16, 17 years ago, I was earning $500,000, but I was always broke. I wasn't buying assets. I was always clueless. In fact, whenever I went to church, I would always come out for prayers, thinking that village people were after my finances. Alas, my problem was financial illiteracy. So it is not what you make that makes you wealthy. It is how you manage and how you multiply, how you put to good use what you make that will make you rich. And like you said,
Awesome.
back to your question, without intentional financial planning and management, you cannot create sustainable wealth. I don't want to speak so
Awesome.
much. I have so many examples to give, but as we go on in the conversation, I'm sure I will be able to share some of them.
I can bet, Madam Shola Adeshakin. Great, great to drive this navigation home. And you guess what? You're feeling we have our seatbelts all tightened to listen more. And let's go the way of economics now. I say in simple economics, the concept of scale of preference is critical in resource allocation. To us professional accountants and indeed other professional members of different bodies, engineering, law, just name it, who are also watching. How should we draw this scale of preference given our limited resources? And what is the place of planning and budgeting in personal finance?
Thank you. Beautiful question. And I could unbundle that in so many ways. But the first thing I would like to say is that generally on earth, resources are finite. Time is finite. To individuals, the resources that we have per time, the resources that we're able to command per time is limited. And as your question says, how do we manage the resources that we have per time? The list of our needs, the list of our wants are endless, right? So sometimes when people come to me and they say, I'm not making money, I tell them, you have to make money because you see, expenses are sacrosanct. Whether you make money or not, right? You must spend money. Needs are sacrosanct. Whether you make money or not, you must spend money. If you have young children, your children won't say, oh, daddy, mommy, we see how you have been trying to make ends meet. In the next 3 days, we won't be hungry. Your landlord won't say, you have been a good tenant. In the last 10 years, you have never given me issues. Don't pay rent for 1 year. Now, your children's school fees will not say, 3 of your older children have come to this school. This last one, don't pay school fees. Do you see? Expenses are sacrosanct. And that's why we must maximize, we must master this concept of planning on how income that we make would adequately cover our expenses. So talking about how do we plan scale of preference, it's about setting priorities. And that's what a budget will do for you. Now, budgeting comes under managing. Remember the 3 M's, never forget it. Make it, manage it, multiply it. Budgeting comes under management. And a budget simply teaches you, right, what are you making versus what are you spending? Are you in deficit? Are you in surplus? Or are you just, are you just breaking even? If you earn 300,000 per month, you know that for sure, especially for those who are salary earners. You must also sit down to write out what your needs are. And you must be able to say, hey, darling, talking to yourself or maybe to your wife, this is what is coming in, this is what is going out. How do we manage things so that our priorities, the things that are really, really important, are sorted out first? I tell people, on one side of the budget, you have the income. On the other side, you have the expenses. Break the expenses down. There are things that are need to have, necessities. For example, rent or mortgage. Another example, groceries. Another example, school fees, light, internet, and all of those things. Then you have nice to have, which I call your wants. Because, hey, professional colleagues, the system is designed to take from us. Government, rent, everybody, vendors. We must also make our time to take care of ourselves. Or else you work and work and work. You just realize you're 60, you're 65, you're 70. You haven't done anything much for yourself. You've just been giving back to everybody. So you have your necessities, you have your nice to have, and then you have what I call your savings and investments. So going back to your priority, budgeting is like a navigator. It helps you examine what is coming in, what is going out, how you match it so that you know if you are in excess, you can tuck some of those into savings. If you are in deficit, you need to work more. If you are breaking even, you still need to work more to make more money because there are a lot of things outside of your control. Inflation, policies. In the last 1 or 2 months, the prices of goods and services have gone up and it's global. There's global inflation. There's a global downturn. So a budget simply shows you where your money should go. Francis Bacon says, money is such an excellent servant, but a bad leader. If you do not tame your money, it's like currency, current, derived from the word current. Right? Currency is derived from the word current. Your money can go anywhere. And that's why you see people on a Friday evening, they withdraw 20,000. They withdraw 50,000 from the ATM. By Monday morning, they are wondering where the money has gone. Money is an excellent servant. If you tell it where to go, what to do, by budgeting, it will serve you well. But if you don't have a budget, your money will go everywhere. So the concept of budgeting, personal financial planning is important. Write out your income, write out your expenses according to your priorities. A lot of women, unfortunately, we do Ashebi, we do all of those things, and then people come back to you and say, hey, I have an emergency, I've not paid my rent. If you live in Nigeria, rent is paid once a year. You have 12 months advance notice. How come rent or school fees have become emergencies? It is lack of proper planning. So
lack of proper planning.
And then budget. Thank you.
Lack of proper planning. Lack of looking at yourself. You write your income, you write your expenses, and you cut your coat according to your cloth. Now, a situation where your salary was static 1 or 2 months ago, and 2-3 months after, as we have the question on the screen from Abel Aiga saying, you now have an increase. And within 2-3 months, or maybe less, if I took your personal example, you are back to square. Well, I said it says square one, perhaps square zero. How can this challenge be addressed?
I love it. I love the question. There's a terminology that we use in the world of personal finance, and we call it lifestyle creep. Lifestyle creep. What happens is when there's an increase in income, your expenses are likely to creep up, to increase, if you do not watch it. I mean, we are human. For example, you used to earn maybe 200,000 and then increase your salary to 300,000. You already have a budget for 200,000. But you're like, a whole 100,000 on top of my salary. Oh yes, that TV that I wanted to change, this is the time to change it. I have been on so bouquet on DSTV. I've been paying 6,000. Now I can pay the 15,000 home. I can actually pay the 20,000 home, right? You start to look at those subscriptions that you couldn't afford before. You start to go for them. Be like, I can start golf classes. What else? Swimming classes. What else? Eco club. I mean, don't get me wrong, these things are nice, but we must learn to plan. So what happens all the time when people get a salary increase and they just realize that the money is no longer enough? What has happened is that as their income has increased, they have also increased their expenses, sometimes unknowingly, sometimes very subtly. So what I would suggest is that, see, it's about discipline. Personal finance thrives around discipline. Like I said, money is very fluid. Money is currency. Money wants to go everywhere. Right? Money loves speed. Money loves mobility. But money is inanimate. You are animate. You must have control over it. So each time you get a salary increase, what I do as an individual, maybe a windfall, an increase in income, is I talk to myself. You must have conversations with yourself. You must be frank. You must apply discipline. I reward myself. For example, if I get 100,000 increase, okay, if you're a religious person, a person of faith, you take your tithes out. And then you can decide that I'm going to reward myself, maybe get something for myself, or just something that I love to do that I've not been able to do. An additional subscription of 10 or 15,000. The remaining will go to my savings as a matter of personal policy, because I have built the discipline muscles over the years. I mean, I've gone from being a spendthrift, not being able to save, not being able to invest, to the other extreme, not an extreme, But these days, I mean, there was a year about 3 or 4 years ago that I literally saved about 80% of my income every month. I wanted to prove that this thing is doable. I wanted to prove that, hey, you can live actually within your means. You said something earlier on, so cut your coat according to your size. I tell people, cut your coat according to your fabric. Because sometimes your size is big, your mouth is big, your desires are big, but your resources are not enough. So work within the constraints of the money you make per time. When the
Super,
money increases, then you can continue to increase. So my
super.
direct answer to that person is discipline. Work a budget. Just assume if this money did not come in, it's a different thing if your expenses have gone up like it has in the last 3 months, especially in Nigeria. It's a different thing. But your expenses have not gone up, it's your income that has gone up. Then let your savings go up instead. Right. Save up.
That's right. That's
Right.
right. So, discipline, another D, discipline, and again, a discipline. You made mention of rewarding yourself and, saving 10%. I know a lot of our listeners perhaps have read of the author of The Richest Man in Babylon, George Clankson, who said this, and I'm happy that you have also made that allusion, and that you can save. But given the huge challenges that people, including professionals, face today, Shola, let's face brass tacks. I'm not forgetting the fact that you really need to be disciplined and tell yourself the truth. Those challenges are huge. Can they really save anything from their income and profit?
Ah, yes. I like that question. I like that question. And from my experience, like I said, it's about number one, getting the right knowledge, number two, having the right mindset, and number three, getting the right skill set. Now, a lot of people will tell you that they cannot save because their salary is small, right? And we encourage people to save at least 10 to 20% of whatever you make. And then somebody is earning maybe 30,000, for example, and the person cannot put aside 3,000. And the person keeps saying, when I save more, when I earn more, I will save more. If you are not able to remove 3,000 from 30,000, chances are when you earn 300,000, you may not be able to save 30,000 because it's about building the skills. I tell people saving is putting money aside and it helps you build consistency. Investing is putting money to work and it helps you build tenacity. So saving helps you build consistency because learn to put aside. Investing, tenacity, learn to put to work. Let me give you this example that would shock you. Many years ago, about 14 years ago, I had somebody who was reporting to me at work. I was a finance manager, she was the accountant. And then she wanted to travel, she wanted to get a visa, I think to the UK. And then she just came around because I used to travel. She came around and she was like, madam, please, I need your help on something. I mean, this lady was earning about maybe 50 something thousand back then. And she said, Ma, I want you to just help me. I want to apply for a visa. I have gone through the requirements. These are my documents. I just would like for you to guide me. I said, yeah, why not? Now, this lady, I was earning about 500,000. She was earning about 50,000. And then she brought out her investment documents, mutual funds, 4 million, some stocks and shares. I looked at myself, even me that was earning 500,000, about 500,000, I didn't have a month's salary as savings. Now, one thing about this lady was I knew she was very frugal. Whilst we would always send the office assistants to go and buy food at eateries, she would always bring her food to work. She would bring her food, she would bring her fruits, right? And she wasn't given to all of those shenanigans that women do as she be. That was a turning point for me. Because I'm like, if somebody was earning 50,000, could have saved up 4 million naira, and I that was earning 500,000 didn't even have 500,000 in an account. Something was wrong. So it's about building muscle. See, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, there will never be a time where your money will be enough. If not, what is Elon Musk looking for? What is Jeff Bezos looking for? What is Aliko Dangote looking for? What are they looking for? They should be okay with their money. They should just be resting and chilling on one yacht in somewhere in the Caribbean. And not, but you see, money, once a billionaire is not forever a billionaire. The dynamics of money change. For example, for those who live in Nigeria, devaluation would humble you. If you had 100 million in your account 10 years ago, it would not be the same in terms of dollar equivalent. So money changes. Inflation erodes the value of money. Devaluation erodes the value of money. And that's why even the rich keep doing more. They want to do more. They want to do more because they need to make more. Let me tell you, putting your money in your bank account, most of us, as we are sitting down, we are losing money, even without spending money. At the beginning of last year, you have 360,000 in your Naira account. You could have used it to buy $1,000. You didn't. This year, black market rate is 580,000. What has happened? The value of your money has been eroded. So your money will never be enough. Remember what I said the last time? Lifestyles creep. As you make more needs will come. Forces within your control will hit your personal finance. So if you don't feel the muscles from where you are and from what you have, you will always have excuses. So build the
And
muscles and face it.
I,
Say,
I, I like that about building the muscles and the discipline, which are these a lot of skills, which Alex Ezomo is asking. And briefly, just to get to him, what are the skills of the MMM of money?
I love the question. So the first thing is managing money. What skills do we need to manage money? Let's make it interactive a bit. I mean, what as I'm talking, just be imagining and answering. What skills does it take to make money? Technical skills, right? Professional skills. As a chartered accountant, you've got the skills. Theoretical knowledge, monetizing your talents. Some of us were accountants, we're business owners. Some of us were accountants, we also teach personal finance. Some accountants are fantastic manufacturers. Some accountants, if you look around, you see a lot of accountants doing so many amazing things. Chioma, I'm sure you would have brought her on air. She's a fantastic businesswoman. We all have skills. See, making money, like I said earlier on, is about bringing a solution to the table. Money is magnetized to problems because where there are problems, there are likely to be solutions. Where there's a solution, there's money. So whatever you can do to solve people's problems will give you money. So if we start to say, what are the skills for making money? Skills for, we can answer that. If you think well today, look around you, what are the things that people would not stop using? Clothing, feeding, diesel in this day and age where electricity is erratic. So the skills will be understand, do like a market analysis, and then sit down to say, which of these needs can I meet? What do I need? Do I need to add a certification to what I currently have? Or do I need to collaborate? So for making money, you need collaboration skills. Right. You need technical skills. Let me tell you about collaboration. This is not an age where you say, I'm a private person. No. I teach the concept of mentoring in three ways. There's the regular mentoring, where somebody that is older mentors a younger person. Fine. There is reverse mentoring these days, where someone that is younger mentors someone that is older. And there's peer-to-peer mentoring. Collaboration. Look at your colleagues. Look at people around you, younger people, older people. What can we do together? What problems can we solve? You guys, you're younger, you know the technical skills. I have access. I know people. Let's put together a pitch. Let's do something. So you need collaboration skills. You need technical skills. You need the ability to sell yourself. Presentation skills. That's for making money. For managing money, you must be able to budget. Budgeting skill is important. And it's not difficult. It is what I already explained. What am I making? What am I earning? Write it down. Right. You need technology skills. My dad, of blessed memory, passed on last year. Before he died, he was on social media. He was on Facebook. Each time you post anything, he will come there to joke and all of that. The day I realized he was following me on Instagram, I was like, oh, look, Oku is following. I'm like, Daddy, what are you looking for? He was the life of the party at our Zoom meetings. He died at 80. I see young people these days who will say, I don't have a social media is very evil. Internet, I cannot understand. You must understand it because that's the future of money. There's hardly anything we do that is not on our phones. Mobile app, pay for electricity on your phone, pay for anything on your phone. It is mobile. The world has gone mobile. It may have its ills and disadvantages, but we must learn it. So
Super.
you need technology skills. You need budgeting skills, right? In managing money, you need tracking skills. It is not enough to budget. You must be able to track. I said I will spend 100,000 on this. What have I spent? If there are many budgeting tools and apps and tracking apps on our phones, then multiplying money. I thank God I'm talking to chartered accountants. Analysis skills. Right. What are the asset classes that we have? We have fixed income, we have cash and cash equivalent, we have equity and stocks, we have real estate, we have other classes. Let me sit down. Which of these asset classes, which of them has done fantastic, has done well in the last 1 year? If you have been following the news, all the asset classes are literally down. The whole investment climb is bloody, blood everywhere. Stocks are falling. You must be able to analyze. Is it time for me to pull out of this investment into another investment? So I could go on and on. Collaboration
Yes.
skills, risk management skills, any skills, expense management skills, saving skills, investing skills, technology skills.
You have to be
Right.
knowledge, and a knowledge on this navigation is the fact that don't just cut your coat according to your cloth, not according to your size, but according to your fabric. I love that. And you just made mention of risk management as being a critical part of personal finance. How should a professional accountant navigate this risk management tough as he or she plans his or her finances?
Thank you. Life itself is a risk. Do you agree with me?
Absolutely.
We go to
Absolutely.
bed, we are just hopeful we'll wake up the next morning by God's grace.
Oh, yeah?
Right? We send our children to boarding house. We just believe that God is with them, they will come back. Life itself is a risk. Some of the things we do are entirely risky, but we go on. We do them in good faith. Investing is highly risky. Saving is risky. Even the banks. There have been a lot of Ponzi scheme alerts in recent times, and I'm like, yeah. I tell people don't put your money in things that, But even banks. Recently, about a few years ago, I realized that even NDIC insures your money, your savings to the tune of 500,000 naira. So even if you have 50 million, if anything happens, 500,000 they will give you. But that doesn't stop us from putting our money in banks. We may say that the government will not fail, or government cannot fail. Look at what happened to Venezuela. Did the government fail or not? Look at some of the African countries that we see around, and the things that happen with them. Who says it can happen to Nigeria? We have just been very fortunate. So if you look, like the Holy Bible says, if you look at the clouds, you will not sow. Because it's going to rain. It's going to rain. It's going to rain. Sometimes it doesn't rain. Sometimes just showers. Sometimes just breeze. So when it comes to risk management, we must be willing to take on more risks. When I explained when I mentioned the 4 asset classes, cash and cash equivalents, fixed like fixed deposit and all of those things, they're low risk, but they can't give you significant wealth. I mean, in those days, fixed deposits used to give us 16%. I was working for a client, we always doing, in fact, in 10 years, he made 480 million as interest on fixed deposit. He was making 4 million per month as interest only. That was then. These days, what I can't even remember. I don't even know what um, fixed deposits give as interest. You can sit there if you want more, bigger, better things to happen to your finances. You must be willing to take on more risk. So you are looking at fixed income. Even fixed income is still low risk because there's nothing such as no risk investment. When we talk about stocks and shares, then we're talking about risk. That's where the money is. These days, you can buy stocks in Nigeria. You can buy US stocks even from Nigeria. You can buy the likes of Amazon. You can buy the likes of Facebook, Google, Apple, Berkshire, Warren Buffett's company, Tesla, fractionally. But it's risky. I was talking to a friend of mine who late last year bought Tesla, all of those things. And then she called me last week like, Shala, what's happening? My portfolio has gone down from 10,000 to 6,000. Welcome to the world. Welcome to the club. Wait it out. If you leave in 1 year, 2 years, it will bounce back. And those are the kind of asset classes that would give you those kind of returns that you want. I'm not talking about Ponzi schemes or you make 300% in 2 months. No, I'm talking about the traditional asset classes. So we must be able to take on risk. Sometimes you will lose money in investing. That's the truth. But it doesn't mean you will not shut yourself against any form of investing. You're not saying, I'm not investing again. You must invest. You must multiply the money. I like to give this example of, money. I use this scenario. If you live in a place where government supplies your water and you haven't had water in 2 weeks, and the water starts to run, what do? You put a bucket there. Remember, you haven't had water in 2 weeks. So when that bucket is full, what do? Do you turn it off? No way. Start to pour from bucket to bucket. When all the buckets are full, get a drum, borrow it. Because when the water goes, you don't know when it's going to come back. That's what happens with money. You don't just leave your tap running because you don't know what I'm making 2 million. What is 2 million in Nigeria? 2 million does not even buy $5,000 any longer.
Awesome, Shola.
What are we saying?
Awesome.
You must be able to take on more risks.
Yes, risk. Okay, the inverted risk returns now has to come with knowledge. Come back to Mr. George Clancy. He made that assertion that in business that you want to engage in, which I think is one of the things that you have delineated here, you must have knowledge, especially if you know there are force majeure, there are things that you are not in control with. Do you believe seriously in that assertion? And what is the place of mentorship in venturing into business undertakings?
Right, knowledge is key. Knowledge is key. In personal financial literacy, we say that the 3 foundations, right, is knowledge, mindset, and the skill set. Now, knowledge is important. Knowledge is so important. Knowledge of business. If you're working in a particular industry or a particular sector and you're not aware of how things work, for example, there are so many peculiar industries and sectors, but you're in the frozen food business, right? And you don't understand the principles of stocking. When to stock, you don't understand the principles of lead time. You don't understand some of those things, you will run into trouble. If you're in the catering business, there's a particular knowledge set that each industry works with. You must know it. You must have the knowledge of financial management, the knowledge of financial reporting, the knowledge of customer management, the knowledge of social media, the knowledge of the internet. the knowledge of marketing, the knowledge of information technology. So business is not just about, I know how to cook. Let me start to cook. If you don't have the knowledge, people would, they will scam you. For example, my dad, he became a millionaire for the first time in his late 50s when he started his business. Business started to blossom. He started to make more money. Cash flow was good. At some point, he wanted to expand. He got money from a bank. I kid you not, as at the time he died, just a few years before he died, the bank took him to court because he couldn't repay his debt. And the interest was not frozen, they continued to increase. What led to it? Mismanagement by his staff. The knowledge of the business was there were so many things he needed to have put in place, which he didn't put in place. So, knowledge in business, knowledge in personal finance, knowledge in anything we do in life. Some of us, we commit so much money. You want to start a business. You have not, made out time to find out what the dynamics are. Before you are spending money, they'll say, and if you're not careful in Nigeria, you can hear 4 different opinions. Say, no, you have to spend this. And that's why, as accountants, I know they say we are stingy, but we're not. We just do our due diligence, ask questions, get comparative figures, quotes, right? Ask people. Do you understand? So knowledge is important for whatever we are doing, whatever we need to do, and very important. I wrote a book called The Real Profit. I've written 8 published books. The Real Profit talks about things you need to consider in your business, financial management, the place, personal finance, proper record keeping, and a whole lot. Right? So knowledge, and we must read. I am currently reading 3 books concurrently. When I drive myself, my audio book is on. When I'm being driven, I read my hard copy book. When I'm home, I slot in YouTube, learning. We must learn. A reader is usually a leader, right?
Oh, yeah. A leader is a reader, and you read very, very, very intensely. If you are just joining, this is ICAN on Air, the Institute of Chartered Accountants, crown jewel, throwing knowledge into the marketplace and into the public sphere. Today, we'll be looking at personal finance and the professionals. Be fielding questions to SOLA ADESAKIN, ACA, ACCA, CPA. If you have a few more questions, even though time may not be our friend, please feel free to come on, and I'll take the one from Mr. Arize here, saying, what do you think about hedging and speculation? Oh, this is going back to risk management now. If you speculate that an asset is high risk and the return is low, do you advise one to still invest or hedge?
All right. So, I mean, I could answer that from like 2 different angles. If you watch the news, if you're familiar, I follow a lot of these very wealthy people on social media. So I just want to see what's happening with them. I remember there was a conversation between Elon Musk, who is the first richest man, and Bill Gates, who is the third richest man. They wanted to do something, and they said that Bill Gates was shorting on Tesla shares. It was speculating, something along that line. And I'm like, see, wealthy people take on risk. They hedge, they speculate, they lose money sometimes, they gain it. It could go either way, it could go this way, it could go that way. But hey, at your level, whatever you cannot afford to lose, don't speculate with it. Do you see? Whatever you can't afford to lose. And that's why this issue of cryptocurrency, should I do it? Should I not do it? Any investment, whatever you cannot afford to lose, do not speculate. But talking about hedging, right? Yeah, whilst I may not encourage you to hedge, if you are not an expert, you can't just wake up today and say, hey, I want to speculate, I want to hedge. You now put your money in stuff that you don't understand. You will get your fingers burned. Right. So get the knowledge, get the skill set, follow those who know and do it. That's on one hand. But even talking about hedging, at the basic level, you can hedge. We must hedge. For example, within my community, I run an investment club called the Smart Investment Club. And about 3 years ago, I told them, I said, hey guys, we're starting a dollar challenge. I want all of you to go save up 360,000 naira. You are starting a dollar mutual fund with Stanbic. About 250 people signed up for that challenge. For some people signed up. So we were contributing on on a particular fintech app. Some people who didn't have $1,000, they saved up 360. Some people who had more. Some people had the equivalent of $10,000, $50,000. So we directed them, we helped them set up dollar mutual funds with Stanbic IBTC.
Super, super,
Some of
super.
them still have that dollars. How much is dollar today? 580. How much have they saved? How much is the capital gain on that money? If you live in Nigeria, you must hedge against currency risks.
With knowledge, with
With knowledge.
knowledge, with
With knowledge.
knowledge.
With knowledge.
Unfortunately, time seems not to be our friend. But just for about 1 second, I'd like to ask you this: uh, that it's perhaps a mindset. I mean, there's wisdom in it. When we talk about the permanent income hypothesis, which encourages people to invest in their children, so that when they grow old, children will take care of them. Sadly, today's children do not feel and they have any obligations to parents, because in other climes, aged parents are taken to old people's home. Hmm. We must look at that reality. How can professionals prepare for the rainy day, and how can they enjoy their lives in comfort when they no longer earn any income? Very briefly.
I love the question. See, I tell people, professionals, your retirement is your biggest expense ever. Don't wait for any child. Yeah, I know some parents will say, you are my retirement plan. I have put all my money on you. I thank God for your life.
Hmm.
But hey, the children of nowadays, especially most of them that go abroad to go and study, then they get married, they don't look back.
Hmm.
May our own children not be like that. But hey, if it happens, what do you do? Don't put your future in the hands of anybody,
Hmm.
including your
Super,
children. It's not safe.
super,
If
super.
they do, they do. Bless you. If they do, it is additional. And that's why right now you must have something going on into your retirement plan, pension plan. You must be, if your children are working, they give you money. So see, there's that quote that says your retirement is one of the biggest expenses. Because by then the income is not really flowing in, but you still have to spend money. And
Yeah.
inflation would also have gone up.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
whatever it is, improve your pension planning. If you can
Hmm.
start a business that you think is viable, do it. Increase your
Super,
saving, hedge, keep money in
super,
dollars. Just
super.
keep keep pumping up that retirement plan. And if your children give
Uh,
you, bless God for them.
Oh, yeah, that would be that would be a windfall. And if they don't give you, you have something that you can fall upon. Shola, time not being a friend, I'd like you to give us your parting shots on this subject today,
All right.
briefly.
Thank you for having me. My parting words would be wealth building is a marathon, not a sprint. And it is never too late to start.
Hmm, beautiful.
Let me say that again. Wealth building is a
It's a marathon.
marathon. You keep playing the game. You keep raising and repeating. You keep making, you keep managing, you keep multiplying, you keep creating wealth. You can't get tired. You lose money, you stand up, you gain money, you're happy, you keep going on and on and on.
Super.
Right? So don't be perturbed, don't be discouraged by what is happening in the economy. Keep putting in the word, keep putting in the effort, keep your eyes on the goal, and with God on our side, we will arrive at our destination safely.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mrs. Shola Adesaki, FCA, CPA, for all the insights and the knowledge that you have given us. Beautiful, and I'm very sure my professional colleagues are going to take that to the bank. Had a very quick information to our students. The ICAN May 2022 professional exams will be holding between May 10 and 12, 2022. Already originally scheduled for May 17 to 19, 2022. Please take note. It is holding between May 10 and May 12, 2022. That announcement was made by Ahmed M. Komshe, the Registrative Executive of ICAN, a professor and an FCA. All inconveniences are regretted. Thank our speaker and thank our participants. And next on ICAN on Air will be on Tuesday, May 10, 2022. Time and venue remains 6 p.m. West African time on all ICAN media platforms. So we are going to be looking at this subject, emotional intelligence for professionals. We'll be having guests in Oluwakemi Bamigbola, MP and FCA. She's a seasoned banker and currently the group head, branch control South Keystone Bank, a first-class accounting graduate and a member of Joint Mind International. You don't want to miss this, and you want to tell somebody else to join you, to come and share in this wealth of knowledge that we give freely to our countrymen and friends of the country. I leave you with my nuggets for the day. And I quote, "It is not your salary that makes you rich. It is your spending habits." End of quote. Attributable to Charles A. Jaffe. And so the sun sets on ICAN on Air, offering today to rise again Tuesday, May 10, 2022. As I always remind, be the change you like to see. And until I come your way again, I remain Aki Fatunke, your anchor. ICAN on Air. Bye for now.